Hey everyone, I'm Daisuke from Maxon, and let's start some sculpting. Currently, I'll be trying to sculpt something like a ninja, and I'll be starting from scratch. And let me set this to skip the note, so I can just switch back and forth. So currently, I'm just gonna start with a head. So I just have a sphere, so I can start with a head. Like this. Usually I want the perspectives off. A lot of people ask me, like, do you prefer to have the perspectives on or off? And usually it comes down to people's preferences, I guess. Hello, welcome. It's been a while since I did the last stream. I think it was on October, and I was like busy doing the events, and I got really sick at the end of the year, and I really had a bad stomachache, and time went on, and now it's like February, end of February. Well, I'll try to do my best to keep up with the times and do some more streaming, but sometimes I'm a bit busy or doing some kind of event management and can't do the streams, but I'll try my best to keep up with the streams. So last stream I did was making a witch, and I barely did like 2 hours sculpting on that. I think I started with a base mesh, and I think that was it. This time I'll try to try my best to like showcase the start and the end of the sculpt, so you can follow along if you want to do some anime style like sculpting. So I'll try my best to like showcase a sculpting style where I don't use too much custom materials or like custom brushes, custom IMMs, and I'll try my best to like just use the default ones. Hey. It's been a bit of a like while I can sit down and sculpt, so my skill's a bit rusty. I've been like completely sleeping on the weekends, so I had to recover from like tiredness and stuff. So, before I actually start doing some details on the face, I'll start sculpting or placing some ears. So I'm going to use the IMB pots, which is the default brush inside ZBrush. And I'll just combine this with Dynamesh, like this. And because I have the group assigned, I just need to like separate from the eyes. And because I'm using the smooth group brushes, it's going to smooth out the border of the groups. I just need this roughly applied, so I don't need to do anything serious right now. And then I'm gonna add some bodies. Hey, welcome. So mostly I'm going to use the snake hook to actually get the rough shapes on the mesh. And I'm going to use a lot of like gizmo movements and dynamesh to actually get the initial shapes. So for this first stream, it's going to be mostly just making the bodies and the like rough body shapes. I think most of the sculpting would be done in an hour and a half. Like I can sculpt something decent, which looks like a body in like an hour and a half. So I think you can get the gist of like how to make the bodies and how to make the heads. I think buying a group was a bit too early, I guess. Let me switch to normal smooth brush. And I'm just going to make the lower body like this. Just going to get the rough shape and combine. And I'm going to get the legs. And I just need... let's... get something like this. And a snake hook. Some people prefer cylinders. I don't mind. I just like to get something really simple. I'm just gonna use ZBrush anyways after this. So I'm just gonna do something like this and duplicate. Get some rough shapes. Dynamesh. And get some legs. So for the legs, I just use cubes. And it gets something like this. Sometimes I use the bee parts leg, for example. That depends on how much time you want to spend on the legs. Well, I can use the bee parts, for example. I'm in them bee parts and the foot. I just need to connect them. And because like this doesn't really look like a anime part, I just need to like polish them. So I just need it on the opposite side as well. And I'm going to use the mirror and weld. I'm going to use the... Oh, I could have used the legs. It's fine. I'll just use the cylinder for example. Something like this. And I just need a hand like this. I need it for the opposite side as well, so I'm going to use the symmetry. And get something like this. I'm going to use the Dynamesh to combine the cylinder and the hand. And I'm going to just use the smooth brush to get the shapes done. Also, when I'm getting the initial shape, I tend to use the smooth stronger, which is this brush, which is inside the brush. And if you go to smooth, you can find a bunch of like smooth brushes, and I tend to use the smooth group brush and the smooth stronger brush a lot. So for this example, I'm going to use the smooth stronger brush. Smooth stronger works as the name describes. Smooth is like much more stronger than the normal version. So now I have a basic shape done. And I just need to adjust the shapes so it's a bit more satisfying. Hey, welcome. Hey. If you have any questions related to ZBrush, like, go ahead. I will try to answer them. Also, if you have any questions related to ZBrush Core, I can answer them. If it's related to the stream, it's very helpful. I can show something on stream as well. So I'm currently just following the anatomy, like the basic shapes, getting the rib cages. For an anime sculpt, it doesn't need to be like 100% like correct, because like anime sculpt in general, or anime anatomy doesn't really exist, but like getting the initial shapes and like, getting the shapes of the muscle is like pretty like makes it more convincing for the model. I can't sculpt lips. Can you teach the basics of some tips? If it's some kind of like an anime sculpt, you don't really need to sculpt the lips. You just need to like, get something like this and just add a bunch of volume to it. If it's a more realistic sculpt and you can't get the lips correctly, it's mostly because you don't have the base done. So like when you're sculpting something and you can't get the shape correctly, it's because you haven't done the like actual like base building of the shape. So usually nose and the mouth are like difficult part of the body to get it correct without any like foundation done. So it's better to like look at a lot of like anatomy books and take a look at how the lips or the face structure is actually made. And usually it's better to like not do this like smoothing brush too much. No, like I've been doing my streaming on this channel a lot, but it's been a while since I did this like streaming. I think it was last October. I did the last stream. I was a bit busy doing the event management and other tasks, but yeah, I'm back. Okay, I'm gonna connect the body. Merge down, merge down. I'm just gonna use Dynamish. I haven't been streaming on my channel, to be honest. Like, I do have my own channel. Like, if you search my personal name, then yeah, you can find it. I share my artwork on Instagram, so if you're interested in that, you can follow me on there. This one. If you search the same ID on YouTube, you can find a video where I'm making some anime sculpts in Japanese, basically. But most of the UI should be in English, so you can follow along if you want to do some things over there. No, thank you. I'm not sure if I'm like streaming the most, to be honest. Like, I think Shane Olsen and like Thomas Whittlesback is doing more streaming than me, or Ashley. Also, I speak Japanese as well as, well, I'm not really good at English, to be honest. Like, a bit of it English and a decent amount of Japanese. Oh, it's really fun to like just have casual sculpting. So currently I'm like trying to sculpt some kind of a ninja character, and I'm trying to make her a bit muscular. Not too much, but like healthy amount. And currently I think the smooth strong is a bit too strong, so I'm gonna dumb it down to like 30%. The problem is with like a strong smooth is that like you're basically like deleting all the sculpt you did. So it's better to like retain a bit of a like sculpt that you did, as well as like not deleting too much and then like getting all the like details like removed. So especially like the rib cage, it doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be really strong, nor same for the muscles you're gonna like sculpt. It doesn't need to be like really visible, especially like if you're sculpting a female character. Like it doesn't need to be too strong. Well, it depends. Like if you're like sculpting something like a barbarian, then yeah, like or warrior, yeah, you want that like ribs, like abs, like very visible. But it doesn't need to be always visible. like getting some kind of like shape are always like hard. Like if you're not really confident with your shapes, like you smooth it too much, and I tend to do that. That's a huge problem with me. So I tend to like smooth it too much and like repeatedly sculpt it again, but like sometimes the shapes are not there, so I'm gonna have a problem with that. So. Mm, yeah, like creating hair on anime characters is a bit tedious and hard. The initial like shapes are more important than the actual like the strands that you're gonna add. So usually people suggest that you get the broad strokes correct, and then if you need to add them, you can add them like gradually. Yeah, I tend to do that. Yeah, sculpting and then like removing all the like details and then getting the mid frequency shapes like ruined in some cases. Also, it's better to um, like sculpt it a bit strong, and then like as you go along, you like smooth it and make it a bit milder. Like it's a bit hard to get the details really strong, and then like it's easy to like just smooth it down. So usually it's better to like do something strong and then smooth it. Okay, I got the basic shape, but it doesn't look correct. So I'm gonna change the scales, get the overall shapes. Like when you're sculpting a body, because like usually you don't have the heads in the right size, sometimes it's like really hard to like see if the scales are correct. So for this instance, I guess the head is a bit big and the neck's a bit long, I guess. And the body is like a bit too straight, I guess. Also, it's just fine if you like if you don't have a smooth surface. Like I tend to like sculpt with clay build up and then just go with it. I think the legs are a bit too small. It's really hard to like estimate the actual size of the legs because you're working on like non-perspective view, and because if you look down, like it looks decent, but like if you put on perspectives, like it's huge sometimes. Also, I just tend to like merge um the fingers together, so it's easier to control the shapes in the first one. If you need those fingers, you can add them later, but for now it's fine. I'm just going to use the backface masking so I can tweak the thickness. You can have the backface masking menu outside so you can tweak them easily. And let's see. I think I get the rough shapes. Sorry. And we continue on with the head. Nope, did I? Nope, I accidentally did something without the symmetry, so I'm gonna use the mirror and weld so I have the complete symmetry. I guess this is decent enough. So for the next thing I'm gonna add, well, let me just like zero mesh first. Zero mesh. get something like this, and I'm gonna make a mask. Something like this, and I'm gonna use the smooth groups to get something like this, and I'm gonna make the eye sockets a bit flat, like this. There was a question, I think it was on the official like ZBrush Discord, asking about why Anime Sculpts always has a separate like group on the eye sockets. That's because like it's easier to make them flat, easier to control the like the edge of the eyes. Use the mic. I do have a filter on, and because of that, it might be sounding a bit small. Let me see what I can do. How about this? Does it change anything? Hello, welcome. So, depending on the character's like facial expressions, sometimes it's better to have those like droopy edges on the end of the eyes, or depending on the character, if it has a stronger character to it, then you're gonna have the edges a bit more exaggerated. And I'm gonna increase the poly count and keep groups. So I keep this group intact. And smooth out or adjust these cheeks. With the cheeks, usually it's better to not have this kind of like a bump. Like it needs to be a bit more like smooth. There needs to be a smooth transition between the cheekbones and the jawline. Also, there's a difference between the jawline you see from the front and the one you see from the side. So usually there was an explanation from Sasaki, who is doing a stream on usually on Saturdays. So if you, I need to paint this first. Color object, and usually the cheek line you see from the front is this, and the cheek line you see from the side, or the jawline you see from the side, is this. So there's a huge difference between front and the side. So for the illustrations you see, usually you need to like replicate the red line you see from the front, and you need to actually look at the side view, and then you need to adjust the blue line as well. I'm planning to like have a mask around her mouth, but I think having a bit of a facial expression is fine. You need them. You need to have some kind of like a indicator anyway if you intend to do it. Like intend to have a mask around it anyways. So it's better to like have an actual like facial expression. Also, Japanese artists tend to like have this part a bit more like shaved off. I tend to have that area a bit stronger. So, but if you look at this from the side angle or the diagonal angle, this curve line shouldn't be like disturbed. So if you look at some like drawings, like basically illustrations, you're gonna have this like line like this following the contours of the face, and this line is really important when you're like working with anime characters. And if you look on the opposite side over here, like it like shouldn't disturb the silhouette. So currently it's currently disturbing the silhouette a bit. So the eye sockets needs to be a bit more inside, like this. Hey, welcome. So I'm currently adjusting the facial lines and trying to make sense of it. And usually this part needs to be a bit round. Currently it's like going inside, but it needs to go outside. So I'm gonna sculpt a bit of a volume to it and then just round it out. like this. If it gets too scary, if it's odd, then you can dumb it down a bit. But this depends on how the brushes, the eyes are placed. So I'm gonna start placing a simple simple eyes, so I can have an indicator if it looks good or not. I think I exaggerated too much with the cheeks. I tend to do this. Well, let's see. I don't like it so far. Let's get the brushes, the eyebrows, and the blush. Extract without thickness, apply. And I just need to have this black. And pushed outside. And currently I think this has 2 polygons, so just one is fine. And I want to smooth out the borders, so I'm going to use the smooth cloth, which is inside here. And I'm going to use the ZBrush. I think 1K is fine. Oh, I want to keep the polygons. So something like this. And I just need a thickness. I'm going to use the dynamic subdivision, and with thickness applied and offset -100, and then I get the thickness in like this, so it hits the inside. And then I can just subdivide a couple of times. Okay, I'm gonna add the eyes, which is usually better to just use the cylinder like this, the circle 3D. And change the shape slightly and fill color. I am the matchmaker brush. Oh, I don't need the color. Matchmaker. Oh, did it twice. And I need it on the opposite side as well, which currently looks very scary. And I need to flip it opposite side. Ooh, scary. Like if you don't do the eyes correctly, it looks very very scary when it comes to like anime characters, and especially like a photorealistic like human are very scary when the eyes are not done correctly. Usually if the eyes are like looking outside, like it doesn't like cross in the middle, like it's very like inhuman, like it feels like a robot. So if you want that kind of like effect, go ahead, but usually it's better to have that like parallax corrected. And currently it doesn't like cross the center, so it's looking a bit odd. And this is fine, like it's currently a symmetrical model, so it's fine. And because you have the eyes right now, it's easier to like adjust accordingly. And I think the cheek is too much. Why did I do this? And I think the ears are a bit too far on the end. Okay, let me just sculpt some eyebrows. I think I made the middle part a bit too thin, so let me adjust this and get the ZBrush. So, and I think I should use a bit of a polish. Maybe a bit too thin, I guess. I'm gonna use the dynamic subdivision, add thickness, and I'm gonna use the backface masking so I can adjust the thickness slightly. Like this. Currently, I'm not deciding yet about the facial expressions, so I'm gonna let the future me decide what kind of like expression she wants or she needs. And if you look at the shape of the face, currently it's not looking correct. Like this part is like really flat, and this part is not on the same size as the font. Well, you can hide it with the hairs, but like hiding sometimes it's not like shouldn't work properly. So, usually, if you start from a sphere, it tends to like keep this spherical shape. So you need to break that like spherical shape out of the initial like and on the initial phase, but you tend to forget when you're like sculpting. Currently it looks a bit robotic, but that's fine. Okay, so only 1 hour passed and I already have a bit of a shape. So that's a good start, I guess. And let's just need to continue on doing so. Mm. I tend to have a strong cheek line or this part, the 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 jawline. So like some people prefer not to have those strong lines, but it's kind of like my like sculpting habit. Like I should change, but it's a bit hard to like adjust. Also, for the eyes, it's better to have a bit of a gray, not completely black. And let me just place some highlights. So for the highlights, it's not going to be symmetrical. It's better to not make it symmetrical. Let's see. Oh. It doesn't need to be symmetrical, and it just needs to be small. Something like this. And this kind of like highlight shapes depends on the illustration you're following or what kind of like style you're following. Like some people have it like this kind of like a triangle looking shape. Some people have it really like this. Some people have it really like spherical. But I think this is fine. And I just need to have this on the opposite side as well. Like this. Is the microphone fine? Is it picking up fine? Or is it too small? I think the microphone is like hidden in the back of the screen, so it might be not picking up as it should be. Okay, so the head is done. And I can focus on the body. And let me just focus on the hair as well for today. So I'm gonna make the hair and then I think I'm gonna finish the stream. So slight body shape. And then the hairstyle. I'm currently thinking about twin tail hairs. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways you can start doing some sculpting for the hairs. For getting this like initial shapes, you can just like start from a sphere and then use like snake hook. But if you're not really satisfied with this, you can also use the IMM brushes, like curved tubes. I tend to use curved tubes to actually get the shapes, or a custom version of the curved tubes, but you can also use the default curved tubes like this. and like you try to split this like using the split unmask, so you have a separate subtool. And you can have something like this. So if you have the single strands, you can start doing more strands for each stroke. And currently it's just a uniform like shape, so you can adjust the curve curve modifiers, and then you can switch the size, and then you can flip this horizontally, no, horizontally, yeah, and then you can have a shape like this. And currently it's like embedded in the head, and this is because you have the depth once, and it's better to use the closest, and then it will try to do this. And if you think the stroke end is like a bit too thin, you can move this curve slightly like this, and then do the stroke. And get some shape like this. And because it's an individual strand, you can have the polygroups separated, and you can hide and split hidden, and you can adjust this thickness accordingly. So if you go to snake hook and then press topological and backface masking inside the brush setting, you can start like adjusting the thickness of the hairs like so, because it's having the topological option. It's ignoring other like geometrical islands on the mesh. And it just needs to have some kind of a tweaking going on. So you can enable the backface masking or like disable it if you want. And also the hair should be asymmetrical, well, depending on the character, but like it's better to have it asymmetric. And it should follow the curvature of the head. So it shouldn't like go like zipping out from the skull. It should be like trying to like go back to your face. And you can check the volume, like applying some colors like this. I'm not sure if I want the hair color to be black or other color, but currently it's just there for like checking the shapes. I'm gonna apply some ZBrush, and when using the ZBrush, it's like in the newest version you can keep poly paints, you can keep polygroups, and you can just like ZBrush it. So if you just want to maintain the rough color you have, it's easy to like just enable that. And I'm thinking about the hair colors, but I don't know. I'm trying to make a ninja, but like I want the hair color to be really like bright, which is counterintuitive, but well, it's an anime ninja, so who cares? What version should I get for a beginner? There are core basic element. It depends on your needs, to be honest. Like if you're going for a professional, like if you want to become a professional, I think it's better to just like start from like the full version of ZBrush. But if you're doing it as a hobby, and then if you just like want to like know how to like sculpt, then core might be for you. For mini, ZBrush Core Mini is the free version, but it's really for a simple like use case of like sculpting. So if you're sculpting something like an anime character, figurines, more like dedicated artwork, then you should start with a core. For the jewelry industry, if you're working for a jewelry industry, I think it's better to like start from ZBrush full version, and then well, you can start from ZBrush Core and then move on to the full version. But eventually, I do think you would need a full version to actually make something really decent. There's a lot of tutorials around ZBrush for jewelries, and Thomas Wittelsbach is a good teacher, and Natural Risco is another good teacher. You can check those streams and then take a look. I think I should color like in a bit more brighter color, I guess. So I can see the overlaps and stuff. Yeah, I think this should be fine. I do think I want to break the silhouette a bit because like currently it's just like following the contours of the face. So I do want to like, break the silhouette. I don't need back face mask. And then just enable back face masking because I need the thickness. Okay, I'm gonna start sculpting the back side of the hair. And I'm gonna use the mask pen. Where's the pen? Oh, there's a pen. Oh, I was using a pen. Okay, so I just need to use the lasso to get this kind of shape and extract, accept, and I just need to separate the colors so I know what I'm like, sculpting. I need to close off this edge. So mask, modify topology, close holes. Where's the close holes? Oh, there it is. Close holes, and I'm just gonna inflate symmetry. And move the shape along. Would you mind sharing what type of drawing pad I should get? Because I'm still using a mouse to sculpt. Like, I think most of the pen tablets are pretty much like fine. It's like I personally would recommend using Wacom, but like using any pen tablet would be fine. It depends on your budget. Like I can spend a bit more money on pen tablets, but for I think for a beginner, it's a bit hard to justify the pen tablet prices. So that depends on your budget. I think I should go with blonde color for the hairs. Yeah, getting the rough shape is fine. So let's just continue on just getting the rough shapes for now. Currently it doesn't have any like facial expressions, so like, it tends to look boring. But as you sculpt along and like add more like, details to it, it looks more attractive, I guess. Also, currently now because you have a bit of hair, um, sometimes the body looks a bit off when you add hairs, and that's when you start like adjusting the sculpt a bit, because if it looks odd, then it's wrong. So usually like what I tend to do is like add more parts so I can look at the like the shapes so it doesn't look odd, and then I have enough time to actually start adjusting. So and now like I feel the arms a bit short, so I'm gonna adjust it slightly. Mm. Yeah, something like this, I guess. So I guess I have 30 more minutes to go. And don't think I should start with accessories yet. So I'm wondering what should I do. I could add more hair to it. Also, it's currently like symmetrical, so I'm gonna break the symmetry slightly. Currently, I don't have the custom settings applied on my ZBrush, so I think next week I should switch to the custom settings slightly so I can speed up my workflow a bit. End of the last year, I had my entire PC like broken, so I lost all my settings, especially for the streaming. So I do need to get back on my feet and try to recover all the data. I do have it on my like hard drive, but it's been a while to actually touch it. So. Oh, I don't need to open the home page. Let me paint this slightly, and I guess apply a tint to it. So I'm gonna use the poly paint and adjust colors, and let's see, blue tint. I don't know what kind of like color should I use. Color scheme. I'll need to think about this. If you have any suggestions, just let me know. It all depends on the the costume or the design of the cloth as well. I just need to adjust it accordingly as well. So it's been 1 hour and a half. I think it's pretty decent. Any questions so far? I do need to actually like start posing this, so I think I should chill out with the hairs before I actually go crazy on the hairs. Yeah, I guess something like this. And let's see. Mm, So currently there's nothing looking like a ninja related thing on this character. So I do think I need to add more things. Hmm. I'm not really happy with the face. Like, it does need a lot of work. Any tips on what for third view of the face, like how it should look like? What do you mean? Hello. Oh. Yeah, so for like anime characters, usually you want the head to have the eyes on the middle portion, and then from the center of your head, you have the 1/3 where your nose is, and 1/3 will be the mouth, and finally the chin. So this should be the ratio. So center, 1/3, 1/3, and your chin. It's the same for your ears. It should be on the center, but slightly below. Yeah, I posted on Instagram and Twitter, but Twitter is mostly on Japanese, so for English audiences, I think Instagram would be the best. And I do post it on ZBrush Central, but occasionally. Yes, I should upload it more, but for anime sculpts proportions, the best would be to learn from the illustration books, because like most of the proportions are done from like illustrations, so you need to take a look at the illustrations to actually get the gist of like what's the what the thing are important, and what artists like actually look for, and it's usually illustrations. Thanks. I think it's a bit too early to get some facial expressions done, to be honest. And this is fine. Sorry. Let's see. Is it better to work from pose at the beginning of the sculpture, or you can work the entire model on a T-pose? Depends. Some people prefer to like just don't use symmetry and then just sculpt entirely with the like post stage. And some people prefer somebody like me who would prefer to like sculpt something with a T pose and then pose it later on. But depends on what you're working on. Like sometimes I have a mesh that I can just like start posing and then like don't bother with T posing at all. But in this case, like I'm gonna make a symmetrical like suit. So for me, it's like easy for me to like just focus on the T pose first and then do um, the details afterwards. So I tend to use the the transpose master inside Z plugin, and I tend to like get the basic shape of the body done, and then just start posing. And you better have a subdivision level mesh, so it's easier to like deform, and just use polygroup to control what area and what mesh you want to like deform as you go along. I think I can show you on the next stream I'm gonna do. It's gonna be in 2 weeks. But you can also check out my other streams I did in the past, so you can get that immediately. You don't need to wait 2 weeks. Hmm. I don't think I like the proportions that much, so I'll need to start tweaking some parts, I guess. Okay, it's time to end my stream. I'll continue on in 2 weeks. I'll need to come up with some like a cool design to actually go with her. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, I need to work on this one. It's a bit tricky. Okay, so I'm gonna end my stream here. Hope you had fun. See you next time. I think it's the next week, and I hope I can continue on the more sculpting. Okay, see you then.